everybody, welcome to Latvia, round 7 of the FIM Motocross World Championship. We're about an hour's drive from Riga, the capital city here. We're at the Zelterzerk circuit, Kegums, and this 7th round is going to take place on a firm sand racetrack, a firm base underneath, a little bit wispy and sandy on top. We had some rain overnight, not too much. Put a lot of water down overnight as well though, but pretty much perfect. Just do with a few more bumps out on the racetrack, just to spice things up a little bit, but I can guarantee that after MXGP Race 1, it'll be just shaping up quite nicely. 23 degrees, a little bit cloudy overcast. And for this time of year, is that decent or not? Who knows? But the circuit, soft and loamy in places, hard underneath. Not quite like a Portugal Agata circuit, but maybe similar to Mantova in some respects. If you're joining us for the first time, here's your first look at the track map. Start straight into a 180 right. By the time we hit the finish line though, that's where we enter the first split section, sector 1, the dark grey zone, down the back straight to sector 2. Twisty turns through the middle into sector 3 and then into sector 4 back towards the finish line. Jeffrey Hurling's your winner here last year in Kegums, which was Latvia 3. Before that, Kai Rowley and Koldenhoff were both victorious in what was a triple header that day, or that weekend, I should say. MXGP riders making their way into the waiting zone. They've already been out on their sighting lap. They are getting ready for this first MXGP race. Fans in the house, just like we had last year. I'm not sure if there's more or less, or because of certain restrictions or not, but either way, hope those guys are enjoying it. Hope you've enjoyed the first race today from MX2 as well. Hope you enjoy the rest of the racing on MXGP-TV. But before we go anywhere though, yesterday we caught up with one of the teams in the paddock, and that was F&H Kawasaki MX2 racing team, to hear how they're going on throughout the course of the season. Of course, they are missing one rider, Roman van der Moosdijk, but we also managed to catch up with him as well. So sit back and enjoy this report.
I had a small injury coming into the season. I had no expectation, and that's why I think it went so good for me. I finished 3rd in the first moto and then overall 4th. The next few rounds were decent, consistent, so I was going on a good way.
It was a good race in Olyonok for my first race in MX2 this year. Nice to start the season like that. Luckily, I was a few minutes with the red flag, but I make a mistake and I crashed. Everyone is good rider. Everyone finish almost every time in the top 10, and I make some mistake. Now I'm focused on the race now. The gap is bigger, but yeah, we are focused on the race at the moment.
If you had a bad weekend, you would try to forget the weekend you previously had. That's part of the job, and let's try to mentally stay strong, even though it could have been in a bad weekend.
Majoras, my first motos were not so consistent like I wanted to be. Bad starts, and it's difficult to come back on a few tracks, but I felt like second moto, that was my best moto so far. I wanted to be more consistent, especially in the first motos. That's what we worked on. It was my first full year in MX2. I did a lot of races last year. Normally I was used to EMX, just the half of the races. You have to be there from the start. The last minutes, the last laps, they are still pushing. That's the most difficult and new thing from the EMX to the GPs.
I ride a little bit crazy and I have a lot of energy. We try to work on that with Mark. All the winter we work on that. I try to ride more relaxed, more easy. I make some mistake also, but it's better than the year before.
My goals for this year would be just to finish off the season. If I have a top 10 or top 15, it doesn't make so much difference. I would like to try just to finish the season off strong and then have something to build from there. I don't know if I would say I'm a sand specialist, but obviously coming from Denmark, we have a lot of sand tracks. I felt comfortable on the hard pack tracks as well. The results just haven't shown as much.
I hope that Latvia will give us the same boost as last year. Last year we had 5 podiums. That was great for us. The last couple of weeks were a little bit rough, so I definitely hope that we can switch this with Latvia.
Last year was a good race for me. For sure, I like so much the track, and I give my best for this weekend.
I like this track. I like it's not rough like Lommel, but it's not really hard packed track either. For me, it's a great track, and I feel very comfortable here.
We are around 40 points behind the championship leader, so I think still everything is possible. So yeah, we will not give up and still fight for podiums and as well for the title.
Brief look behind the scenes then. F&H Kawasaki MX2 racing team, the official team in MX2 for Kawasaki. And yeah, no Rowan van der Moosdijk, that scaphoid injury ruling him out of Lommel last week, and of course here in Latvia this weekend. The MXGP riders making their way back from the sighting lap. Before they disappeared though, Lisa was down on the grid. She caught up the standing construct gas rider of Brian Bogers and the 747 of Michaeli Chervelin on the JM Honda.
Hello and welcome to the start of the first MXGP race. Now I'd like to speak to JM Honda's Michaeli Chervelin. Michaeli, mainly because we saw you come back in Lommel, but before then we hadn't seen you. Just tell us, where were you, what were you up to?
Yeah, it was a difficult winter for me. From one stupid things on the wrist, I make infection and I have to make 2 surgery, and it was a really bad moment for me. I know I have best team wait for me. I have everything and cannot ride is not nice. I just ride after the GP in the GP in Majora, so it's not a long time with the bike since the last race in Arco last year, and I know it's difficult, but it is nice to be here. Sure, I know I'm not 100%. It's long, 30 minutes, but I do my best and keep for training and step by step try to improve till the end of the season.
I guess Lommel was perhaps the worst track to make your return to racing with, but just tell us what's the realistic goal for this weekend then?
This weekend I think one more step from Lommel.
Yeah.
Sure, Lommel was difficult, but it's also home GP for team. I'm still training in Lommel. We know it was difficult, but it was a good training.
Yeah.
I think the best training you can do is try to start in Lommel and with a race. And okay, we try to improve. I hope better on this one. Sure, 30 minutes is difficult, but I try to do my best and enjoy when I ride.
Good to see you back, Michaeli.
Thank you. Bye.
The next rider I'd like to catch up with is standing construct gas rider Brian Bogers. Just to talk about that qualifying, that time practice session, that was your fastest time practice of the season, P7. Feeling pretty good?
Yeah, for sure. I'm feeling very good now on the moment. So this is important, you know. But yeah, it's a little bit mixed feeling because it's going up and down a little bit with the results. So yeah, I want to be consistent and just focusing on that. And yeah, I try to do my best.
Actually, talking about your results, looking at the start of the season, best result came at your home GP, no surprise in Os, where you were P7. How are you feeling the start of the season has gone? Are you happy with it, or do you feel that there's still room for improvement for you?
For sure there is room for improvement. You know, what I said, it's going a little bit up and down. Metally was not so good, Majora was not so good, Os was good. Loket was a little bit less, you know. So yeah, it's up and down, but yeah, every race that we are on the gate, I do my best, and we try to make the best of it.
Best of luck, Brian. Thanks for chatting to us. Good luck to all the guys. It's time for the first MXGP race.
A few moments ago, the riders disappeared out on track for their sighting lap then, and there was Jeffrey Hurlings and Tim Geiser, Prado, Cairoli, Fevre. Pretty much in the order that they finished in time practice, and we will check out the time practice highlights in just a few moments. But about a minute away from the riders making their way to the start line for MXGP Race 1. Here's how the championship looks though. Tim Geiser leads on 2.26. He's 5 points clear of Romain Fevre. Tony Cairoli is third, just 4 behind him. Prado another 5 further back, just 14 points separate the top 4 riders. Jeffrey Hurlings 42 off the lead, 28 behind his teammate Prado, and then we've got Siwa, Koldenhoff, Jonas, Watson, Lupino. Very tight at the top of MXGP. Slowly working our way through the calendar then. We've just come to the end of a run of 4 races that saw us take in Os, Czech Republic, Lommel, and now here. 3-week break in the calendar before we do a double header, Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday in Turkey. Another week off, and then we start from there, Sardinia, and then all the way through, as you can see. So it's going to be very, very busy from here on out. Tim Geiser getting ready to go the line, so too Jorge Prado. Take a look at time practice, though, earlier, just to give you an idea of how these guys are looking early on. Tony Cairoli keen to get himself out on track, and so too Jorge Prado, but it was Paul Jonas, the standing construct gas rider, who was first on the circuit. Put in a decent time early on, but eventually he dropped out of the top 10 before getting himself back up to 8th. Jeffrey Hurlings, though, his first and only attempt, was good enough to put him on pole position, a 1:57.959. And the Red Bull KTM rider for the 4th time on pole position. Tim Geiser tried, but the HRC man on the Honda, 1.03 seconds behind the bullet. He'll go to the line second. Jorge Prado, Red Bull KTM, he led his teammate Tony Cairoli home, a 59.3 exactly. Takes him to the line in 3rd place. And Romain Fevre, Monster Energy Kawasaki, he has to be content with 5th. He had a couple of laps kind of interrupted, one because of a fall, one because of a yellow flag. This was the lap that eventually put Paul Jonas into 8th place, just behind his teammate, Brian Bogus, who we heard a moment ago, his best qualifying of the season so far in 7th. Cairoli tried several times, did 10 laps. His best lap was on lap 8, only good enough for 4th. 1.6 off of Jeffrey Hurlings. Counting down ahead of MXGP Race 1 here, round 7 of the FIA Motocross World Championship. We're at the Zelterzerks. We're at Lockett. Jeffrey Hurlings on pole for the 4th time this year, ahead of Tim Geiser, Jorge Prado, Tony Cairoli, Romain Fevre, and Glenn Koldenoff. Brian Bogus with the best qualifying in 7th, and then Paul Jonas, his teammate, 8th. Calvin Valandren, 9. Jeremy Seaward, 10. Lupino, 11. Tom Cock, best qualifying for him in 12th as well for the KTM Cossack team. TKO was 13th. Alvin Ostland, at best for him for JK Racing Yamaha. Ben Watson goes to line 15th. That equals his best, and that's the 2nd time he's been there. Jordi Tixier, Van Donnick, Jacoby, Jasikonis, a faller in the wave section in time practice this morning. Looked a little bit stiff. Is he going to be lining up? We need to keep an eye on the number 7 Rockstar Energy Husqvarna rider. Looks like he's gone to the line anyway, so that's the main thing. Tony Cairoli went to the line 4th. He is currently 3rd in the championship, 4 points behind Romain Fevre. Fevre victorious a week ago at the Grand Prix of Flanders, Belgium. He means business. Tim Geiser had a couple of rocky rounds. Czech Republic, he was 2nd and 15th in the races, 7th and 4th in Belgium, and they were both 6th overall finishes for him. Are we going to see a different race winner here today? Yes or no? That was the number 19, actually, behind the line, TKO. Thomas Gear Olsen, Jeffrey Hurlings just getting his start set up, engaged, ahead of the race. So can't see Arminas Jasikonis. So AJ then doesn't look like he's going to be lining up after that fall in practice this morning. The Fly Racing 15-second board is up for the first time. MXGP Race 1, 30 minutes plus 2, round the Zelterzerks. Not an easy place to come to. All eyes over on the left-hand side of the gate. Fevre, Cairoli getting together, and Prado making no mistakes and closing down the door immediately as well. Somebody going straight on. Was that Olsen? I think it may have been. No, Olsen's in the corner there, 2nd turn. Tell you what, Prado's not hanging about, is he? He's had his elbows out twice now. Hurlings in 2nd. Just behind him. Then we've got Koldenoff in 3rd place. 4th, Geiser. 5th, Calvin Verlanderen. 6th is Cairoli. Those two bar to bar. Herlings takes over the lead, though, at the first time of asking. Doesn't want any more Spanish elbow. Geiser keen to keep Herlings in his sights. Alongside Prado at the top of the hill. This is for 2nd. Koldenhoff there in 4th place. Cairoli, back end just bouncing off the bank there for the number 3 of Roman Febvre. He's in around about 10th position at the moment. Geiser in 2nd, but will he get out-dragged at the end of the straight here by the young Spaniard who keeps it a little bit lower on his KTM? Frantic opening half lap. MXGP race 1. Heart rates absolutely spiking through the roof at this stage of the race. Adrenaline fueling through their veins. Geiser still trying to hang on to that 2nd place. Herling still riding with a wounded left shoulder blade, remember. Any points he can pick up are going to be good for the championship. His main thing is he needs to be gaining points on everybody, so nothing else than a win will do for the Bullet. Koldenhoff 4, Cairoli 5. They're just in the background there. Verlanderen is well placed on the Gebben van Venrooy Yamaha. He's in around 6th place. Be nice to see a replay of the start and then that turn 3 as well when this all settles down. Erling's looking to make a break for it if he can, though. Riders coming through here. In fact, Jonas has found his way behind Cairoli, so he's found his way past Verlanderen. So a good start for Paul Jonas, the home rider. Standing construct gas rider, nicely done there. Picking his seat, Herling's there, just wheelie onto there. Everybody else hitting it front end first. 59.8 opening lap for the Bullet. 2 minutes 7, 2:03.0 for Geiser and Prado. So already 1.6 seconds clear. Here's the number 84. Wow. Jonas was a little bit out of shape over that bottom jump just below us a moment ago that we saw from the moon cam. Back with the leaders. Herlings just trying to get his head down, needs to stay out of trouble. Right, Geiser, Prado 3, Koldenhoff 4, Cairoli 5, Jonas 6, Febvre 7. Kawasaki man just behind the number 41 any moment now, bottom of the screen, and he looks to be going round the outside of him, trying to get alongside him in the wave section as we focus on Prado out on his own in 3rd place, no one around him. Back corner, her and Febvre is lining up a pass on Jonas just in the background. Geiser not close enough to make a pass on Herlings here, but the battle between Jonas and Febvre, just a few riders further back, was looking a little bit juicy. In fact, he's already found a way through. So Febvre, for the last 7 or 8 corners, hassling the number 41 of Paul Jonas. You can see that the pass was possibly imminent. But Jonas then losing the position. He moves into 7th place. Febvre up to 6th. Jonas riding his home round. Missed it last year, of course, because of injury. Anything would be decent today, but I'm sure he would love to be on the podium if he can. Cairoli going after Koldenhoff. So the Montreal Yamaha Koldenhoff in 4th. Coming into land now and over the top of the hill. That's him here. Then Cairoli in the yellow helmet, 2:22. Febvre closing down on him, though. In 6th place, Jonas 7, Lupino, MRT KTM is in 8th. Olsen 9, Verlanderen 10, Monticelli 11, Van Donnick 12, Siwa, bad start for him in 13th, ahead of Jacobi, Bogus, Watson, Tixier, Koch, Chervelin and Osland. A couple of gnarly braking bumps coming into that turn. Holding off a winner here last year. Won previously here as well. 2 victories for the Dutchman. I think all these guys know a good start, crucial. Seems like a lot of teams and riders trying to perfect those starts during the off-season. Back on the ground. Prado heading in the opposite direction. He's still there in third. Cairoli being told Fevre is closing in on him. Closing fast as well. The Montrench Kawasaki just there, number 3. 23.5 minutes. Oh, back end destroying the berm there. Fevre very lucky to stay on 2 wheels. Watch this here. Whoa. Another ½ inch or so. Prado's lost the toe to Herlings and Geiser. They're 3 seconds further up the track, or Geiser is anyway. Cairoli going long. Still there in 5th. Fevre closing in 6th place. Just taking a quick look across, wants to know what's going on. He'll know that Geiser's behind him in the in 2nd position. Still stay 5th in the championship, but of course he'll be gaining points on those around him. He won't be thinking too much about that today, though. Obviously, the more points he scores, the better it's going to be for his campaign, of course. But when you're already 28 behind Prado, another 4 behind Cairoli, all you can do is just go out and hope that those guys don't score as many points as they otherwise would, as in if you're first, they're not 2nd or 3rd, but difficult in this field, you know. So open in 2021. MXGP, everybody's so close together. Even Cairoli once again mixing it with the young guns. Gap between the first 5 riders, 8.5 seconds at the end of that lap. We're working our way towards the end of lap 4 now. Cairoli was the rider in 5th and still is. Koldenhoff 4th. Been on the podium just once this year, that was Maggiora, Italy. But Fevre riding with some kind of urgency now. Finally got his Lommel win a week ago. Moved him up to 2nd in the championship, got his 3rd podium of the season. All of these riders would love to go into the 3-week break with a good, solid result. Bit of a panic rev there for the number 3. Oh, comes into land a bit heavily there as well. Off, just not able to stay with Prado, the other side of the jump. Doesn't need to be right on his wheel, but at the end of the day, it's going to be what happens in the second half of this race that's important. We've got 20 minutes to go, plus 2 laps. Track changing all the time. Ruts on the faces of those waves starting to build. Square edges starting to appear as well. Off just trying to keep that momentum. If you join us for the first time, obviously this is the layout that we ran for Kegums last year, as in the MXGP of Kegums, the 3rd in the triple header format. Just haven't got that double in the background there, so it's a more open corner through the left. Again, Fevre going after Cairoli. He takes a look over his shoulder, wants to know who it is that's there, or how close. Jonas still there in the background. He's in 7th place. Another visitor to the podium last week, 3rd overall in Belgium. Was the Latvian. How much more of this can Tony Cairoli take from Roman Febvre, though? Oh, the back end dancing around those holes and ruts and bumps. Don't look so bad through the eye of a lens, but when you're down there on the ground, so much speed going through the suspension, through the tyres. Riders are just hitting them. Things are happening very, very quickly in that respect. Then you land here, a couple of horrible holes just in the G-out zone where they land. Edges there, which Cairoli catches. Febvre moves across to the right for the first time. Ooh, Hurlings looked like he was offline there on the face of that jump and then committed last minute just to pop over the double at the end of the straight. Geiser going through in second. Top two starting to pull clear of Prado. Prado pretty much out on his own in third at the moment. Febvre losing time in the last couple of corners. Cairoli has just been solid. Febvre might have made just one or two little mistakes. Look, the Frenchman just disappearing off the back of the KTM at the moment. That'll frustrate him as well, because he'll be pleased with his speed, getting onto the rear of Cairoli, and then just not able to make that pass happen, not able to get close enough, and then the mistake somewhere, either the right-hander or the left before the waves, or maybe in the waves itself. But Prado, is he being caught by Koldenhoff? I think he might be, you know. Fastest first sectors for both of them, although Koldenhoff pulled 2/10 on the Spaniard. He lost 4/10 in the second, and then he gained another 3/4 of a second in sector 3. So Koldenhoff on the charge. It's Hurlings who continues to lead, 4.2 seconds from Geiser. Prado third, Koldenhoff fourth, Cairoli there in fifth place. Febvre sixth, Jonas, Lupino, Siwa and Monticelli. No one really able just to pose himself here. TKO out after 3 laps. What happened to him? I said a moment ago, so much happening beneath the wheels of the riders, just as even getting out of that corner and hitting that first wave. The rut now, you need to be absolutely inch perfect just to get through there to be able to get on the gas effectively. Prado recovering well and responding well to the threat of Koldenhoff. Just starting to put a little bit of distance, but look at Febvre again, closing in on Cairoli. Made that mistake wherever it was. Cost him about a second or so, but all of a sudden, right on the rear wheel of the 222. And looking to go after fifth. How much energy is this costing him, though? There's Hurlings, turn 2 in the opposite direction. Just needs to ride smart. The opportunity will present itself. Got that corner nice though, hasn't he? Just drifts through there. Doesn't want to be too heavy, although they are starting to land in a bit of back roost now. The other side of that jump. A bit softer towards the base of the landing zone. 15 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Good turn at that. Yeah, he's not afraid to light it up at the back end, is he, Roman Febvre? Just good at rolling the throttle on and just having that kind of confidence just to let it drift around on him. Throwing a couple of corners now. Again, 1 or 2 mistakes somewhere, just costing him time. He was all over the back of Cairoli a moment ago. Prado. Haven't seen too much of the 61. The Red Bull KTM rider currently in third in the race, 5 seconds-ish down on Tim Geiser as he works his way, dances his way through those waves. Bit of a kick at the end of it all. Remember, he led a race last year and he picked up a buckled wheel, had to come in for repairs. No such problems at the moment, though. He's keeping Koldenhoff right where he wants him in 4th place. Again, Fevre closing back in on Kai Rowley. Second half of the lap, very good to the Frenchman. Irons out the first half of the lap. Who knows? We might see a challenge. Might even see a pass. Few and far between so far in this first MXGP race. There's Jonas. Standing construct. Guess. The 41. It's about an hour and a half or so from here. Take a look at the start. Watch what happens at the first turn. And immediately out of the gate. Right, new riders, bang bars, Fevre and Kai Rowley. Look at that, Prado goes straight across Geiser and Hurlings. Valentin Guillot goes straight on in the first turn. And then turn 3 just after this. Watch this. Hurlings around the outside of Prado, who says, no, don't think so, mate. And then Hurlings then finds his way past him just after the finish line. Just gets back on the gas underneath. Kept it nice and clean. And from there, no one's seen him so far. He's now 5.8 seconds clear of Tim Geiser. These three still locked together. Glenn Koldenhoff, Tony Kai Rowley, Roman Fevre, 4th, 5th and 6th. While these guys are battling and sort of being a bit timid with each other, this is Jacobi and Monticelli. That was for 11th place. .5 minutes plus 2 to go. MXGP Race 1. Round 7 of the FIA Motocross World Championship. Just counting down the clock here. Waiting for one of these guys to make their move. Not easy, though, when they're all carrying the same kind of speed, riding similar lines. We've seen Roman Fevre a handful of times get himself onto the rear wheel of Tony Kai Rowley. But so far, hasn't been able to prevail. Gets there, makes a mistake, loses ground. And then it's a case of Groundhog Day for the number 3. Several attempts have tried and failed. When you're in that situation, it just makes the race just that little bit longer as well. Look at him just trying every line possible just to try and make something happen. Jeffrey Hurlings continues to lead. He's 6.6 seconds clear of Tim Geiser as we speak at the moment. Prado on his own, but Hoff has caught him. He's within about a second, 1.8 seconds of him. And this is that battle now, and a bit of a kick there for the number 61. All of a sudden, we're going to have 4 riders fighting over 3rd place. The good news for Tim Geiser, whilst he's there in 2nd place, and Roman Fevre buried in 6th at the moment. He's opening up his lead. It was 5, it will now be 12 points over the Frenchman. He'll have 3 over Kai Rowley, 1 over Prado. These guys know they're not able to switch off. That outside line that these 3 riders are using, slightly different to Prado as he dropped in over the single. Here's Tim Geiser. He's in 2nd place, haven't seen too much of him, but needs a good solid result after his last 2 wobbles. where there's been one or two little incidents that he'd rather not, well, he'd rather forget, I suppose, but get a good solid result here, race 1. Just start that process again. Come away with a good ride in race 2 as well. Prado, Koldenhoff, Cairoli, Fevre, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. 9 minutes to go. See how hard the ground is underneath there. Trying to chase the dirt around the outside. Some of those berms work better than others. Koldenhoff getting over that hole, but using a bit of bank as he come into land as well. Still riding a very intense pace. When you think that the lap time, the fastest lap of the race was on the opening lap of the race at a 1:59.8, and that was Hurlings, but 2 minutes 2:01s. They're still pushing 2:02s, 2:03s. Despite the track breaking down, getting rutty and edgy and gnarly. Cairoli looking for a way around the outside of Koldenhoff. He may just make it happen as well, but he's got to go long, he's got to be brave, but that outside line working, he's going to have to force the issue here, and he does. Cairoli then up into 4th place. It seemed like an eternity, but finally, somebody's made a move. And it's the Italian who now has his sights set on his teammate, Jorge Prado. Three Red Bull KTMs in the first 4 places. Hurlings leads it, Prado 3rd, Cairoli 4th. Glenn Koldenhoff will be trying to respond if he can. Certainly won't want to let Fevre by, as he looks to improve on his 7th place in the championship. Oh, rode his luck there. Prado over that left turn, it seemed. These riders now starting to up their game. Last 10 minutes. Cairoli had enough of eating the roost off the back of the Yamaha of Koldenhoff. Jumping through that turn. See the ruts on the faces of the jumps. Look. Blue flag's being waved, I think, for Jimmy Clochet down there on the SDM course beta. Right, Prado has been caught by Cairoli down the back straight. We'll go to the outside. Prado knows he's there. Just looking for momentum the whole time, Cairoli. This is where he was effective on Koldenhoff a lap ago. He's going to do the same here, but Prado will just hold the advantage. Despite Cairoli being on the inside line here, just not close enough, or is he? Whoa! Teammates or not? Anything you can do, I can do better. Gloves are off in that side of the garage. Neither one backing down. Cairoli frustrated that he's behind his teammate. Prado saying, well, you're going to have to come through me if you're going to go by me, and that's exactly what he does this time around. And he's frustrated as well. I'm not sure if that was a thank you or a you, if you know what I mean. They must be pulling their hair out down there in pit lane. But Cairoli gesticulating here as he came over the jump. And that has rattled Prado, because he's all of a sudden got Koldenhoff and Fevre breathing down his neck, and those two bar to bar as they come into land. All of a sudden, Hurlings, Geiser, Cairoli now top 3. Prado under attack. Koldenhoff, well, he's the meat in the sandwich, isn't he? Can't go wide, he leaves the door open, can't go to the inside, because he might get railed around the outside, but Fevre somehow finding a way through. So Hurlings, Geiser, Cairoli, Prado, Fevre now in 5th place. Watch this here. Round the outside and cuts back to the inside. That's how Fevre found his way through on Koldenhoff. I like that moon cam. So Jorge Prado's had a couple of wobbly laps. Needs to knuckle down, get himself back in focus mode. Not going to be easy because number 3 of Roman Fevre has only got one thing on his mind. Get back onto the reel of the 61, going past the Spaniard. He needs points for the championship, don't forget. Cairoli has gone up to 2nd in the championship now with that pass on his teammate. 2:37 to 2:36 Fevre. And Paul Jonas has woken up. The Latvian fans are waking up as well. So Jonas just behind Glenn Koldenhoff. A great end to the race. Took a while to get going. A little bit like dial-up back in the day, but we brought the Wi-Fi connection to the table for the second half. And it's really come alive. A few elbows thrown between two teammates. In fact, elbows have been thrown between all 3 KTM riders right from the start. Prado came across everybody, was aggressive on Hurlings at turn 3, tried to duff up his teammate Cairoli. Don't think they'll be eating that tonight. Meanwhile, the number 3, Roman Fevre, back onto the rear wheel of Prado. Jonas closing in on Koldenhoff. So the battle here for 4th and 6th. Fans making noise for Jonas as he comes in on the back straight. He's up the inside of Koldenhoff. He's not going to be making the move there, though. Not this time around. 4-5 goes on the clutch there, George. That outside that Cairoli was using, though, is very effective, isn't it? See how much... Oh, catching a little bit of dirt, and Jonas is through on Koldenhoff. Jonas lighting up the fans here in Kegums. He moves into 6th place. He could go after Fevre as well if he gets held up behind Prado too much longer. Jonas has ridden a very smart race, actually. He's just sat back, let all this chaos go on behind him. No one really pushing, no one really making any moves. But someone like Fevre, who's been on and off, making mistakes, getting onto the rear wheel, making mistakes. It's been quite an intense race for Fevre. Jonas may just be able to capitalise on that. $15 laps, 14 laps complete. Hurlings and Geiser 10.2 seconds apart now. Cairoli 3rd, about 7 seconds further back. Prado somehow still there in 4th, fighting for every last World Championship point. Fevre trying to deny him, though. So far, coming into this first race, MXGP of Latvia here at Kegums. Race winners. 5 different race winners we've had. 3 of them have all had 3 race wins. Tony Cairoli, Jeffrey Hurlings, Tim Geiser. So Jeffrey Hurlings going to make it 4 wins if he stays where he is. Maybe the most wins of the season so far. Anybody in this class. Here he is, number 84. The 2-lap board will be out next time around for the Red Bull KTM rider. Can't do any more than he's doing. He knew pole position was important today. He had to be at the inside gate for that 180 right turn. Didn't make a whole shot, but he put himself right where he needed to be right from the very first moment of the race. And from there, he's controlled it. Not going to be comfortable with that left shoulder. But he's got no choice if he wants to be world champion at the end of it all. Trying to hang on to the 450 KTM, a factory one at that. When it's dancing around like this, when you have that injury, any arm injury, shoulder, wrist, you feel it. He certainly felt it when he got landed on in Oss. Tim Geiser, good steady race for him. He tried to go with Hurlings in the beginning, just wasn't able to, and he said, you know what, I'll put the mature hat on, be the best of the rest in this one. Let's see what race 2 brings. Either way, we're going to be setting up for a bit of a showdown, aren't we? Race 2. Back with your leader. 10 seconds clear of the Honda rider, Geiser. Gets himself through the waves. Not taking any risks. Just trying to smooth. Staying nice and low in the turns. Picks his front wheel up nicely the other side of that hole as well. Riders were doubling this point in time practice today, but opting to go single and then make a nice short turn through the left before dropping down in that bottom corner. Just over a lap to go, just chasing his leg a little bit through there. All the visits that have been coming back here since 2009 and also 2010 when Hurlings was a visitor for the first time. He's won 12 races around this Zelterzerg circuit, looking at making it 13. Goes into the final lap, knowing that his gap over Tim Geiser is now 9.8 seconds. He's backed it off a little bit, just wants to bring it home for the 25 points. Another 5 seconds further back, Tony Cairoli there. Oh, and a mistake there from Geiser. Just missed the turn. Fortunately for him, Cairoli was 5 seconds adrift. Just getting over that little sinkhole, the other side of the downside. Here's Jeremy Seaway. He's had a quiet race. Well, it's probably not been quiet. It's just we've not seen him. He's down there in 9th position. Brian Boger's behind him in 10th place. So the Monster Energy Yamaha out on his own, just got the Dutchman on the standing construct gas for company. Those two 9 and 10. Pino just the other side of the corner. He's in 8th place, the MRT Racing KTM rider. In terms of the championship, we'll keep him in 6th place. See how you've got to be picking your line there, precise. Seawer not straight when he came out of the corner, just had to roll off the gas just to make sure he got through there. Heavy landing though on that first tabletop. Good ride for Filipino in 8th position. Down the start straight for the final time, Jeffrey Hurlings. No celebrations in front of the team. Still too early for that. But just a couple more corners to go. This one and the one out of the left-hander, the other side of the jump here. Keeps it nice and short there as well. Jeffrey Hurlings, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, wins race 1 here. Becomes a winner for the 4th time this year. The most race wins now from anybody. And that's his 13th race win around the Zelterzergs. A mistake there from Prado as he comes into land. Still trying to fend off the challenge from Fevre, but the Spaniard will cross the line in 4th. Fevre 5th, looking behind him, wants to know who's there, and it was Jonas in 6th place. Jeffrey Hurlings then wins race 1. Wounded or not, it was a good, solid performance from the number 84, who just needs championship points. Worry about the maths later on, but for now, Tim Geiser continues to lead the championship. Tony Cairoli has moved into 2nd, although tied on points with Roman Fevre now. Geiser on 248, Cairoli Fevre 237, Prado 230, Hurlings 209. Anyway, here's our 4-time race winner this year, Jeffrey Hurlings.
Jeffrey Hurlings, congratulations, a good start and a well-controlled race to get your 4th race win of the season. How are you holding up?
It's tough, really tough. Like, also this track, like so much grab booms, I really feel like physically I'm okay, but to hold on is going to be a tough second motor. But we pushed like last weekend again, and we do our best. So this was a good start of the weekend. So hopefully get a good start second motor. That will be very important, and work from there. So I'm going to have to replicate the racing team. The bike did an amazing job. So look forward to Moto 2.
Good luck for the second race.
Had a fight in his hands from the start gate to the first turn, and then again through turn 3, but he was quickly into the lead, Jeffrey Hurlings, and from there no one really saw which way he went. And the Bullet responds with his 4th race win of the season to keep his championship aspirations alive. Gains 3 on his main rival, Tim Geiser, but he won't be worried too much about that for now. He will enjoy the moment, though, as best he can. Jeffrey Hurlings wins race 1 ahead of Tim Geiser, Tony Cairoli and Jorge Prado. Roman Fevre came home 5th ahead of Paul Jonas, Glenn Koldenoff and Alessandro Lupino. Then we had Jeremy Searle, Brian Bogers, Henry Jacobi, Jordi Tixier, Ben Watson, Kevin Strybos, Brent Van Donning and Ivo Monticelli. And behind them, Tom Cock, Jeremy Van Horbeek, Albi Ferrato and Alvin Osler. Take a look at those highlights, and it was explosive right from the very start. Over on the left side, watch this. Prado immediately sharp right across the nose of Hurlings and Geiser. Valentin Guillot went straight on at the first turn, I think that was, and then into turn 2, Prado led. Hurlings tried to go around the outside of the next turn, but the Spaniard was having none of it, just ran him deep into the turn. Monticelli was in 3rd place at that point. Sorry, it was Koldenoff 3rd in that point. Then Hurlings took over the lead immediately. This is on the first lap, by the way. Hurlings led. Prado was 2nd. Geiser found his way past the Spaniard to take over 2nd place. Knew he couldn't allow Hurlings to get away from him. This was for 11th place, Jacobi on Monticelli. And then, second half of the race, a few laps to go, it really started to come alive. Cairoli, frustrated at being behind Koldenoff all race, suddenly made that pass to move into 4th. He then went after Prado, and that's where the fireworks were. He came up the inside here, gave him enough room, but Prado didn't like that, so guess what? He responded in the next turn, said, no, I'm the new kid on the block. And then 2 turns later, Cairoli was like, actually, I think you'll find that I am the elder statesman, and I'm having it. And he had it right there. Cairoli all of a sudden up into 3rd, leaving Prado to deal with Koldenoff and Fevre. Fevre neatly out of the turn, snatched that position away, moved into 5th place. And then, just a couple of laps from home, Paul Jonas moved into 6th as he found his way past Glenn Koldenoff. Fans love that over on the bank. And that's how it finished. Hurlings, your winner from Geiser, Cairoli. Prado across the line 4th, Fevre and Jonas for your top 6. But another win in the books for Jeffrey Hurlings. Oh, we do like a bit of drama. Anyway, foxhole shot. It was tense going through the first turn. Who was it that grabbed that foxhole shot? Let's have a look, shall we? Wow, who'd want to call that? Well, Jeffrey Hurlings, for the second time this year then, grabs the black plate. So a start-to-finish win then, in that respect. Prodo's on 5, Fevra on 4, Jeffrey Hurlings on 2, Monticelli and Koldenhoff with 1 apiece. MXGP Race 1 in the books. Good news is we've got another one of those to come a little later on. Take a look at some of the best moments though, shall we? Some of the best moments and action from MXGP Race 1. We're going to take a break. Join us in just over an hour, top of the hour, of course, 3 o'clock local time here for MX2 Race 2, and then that'll be followed on by MXGP Race 2. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching.